Hey, what's up, ladies and gents? It's your friendly neighborhood Don here, getting into an absolute banger of a story time. It's about the first time I had a run-in with the law, the cops, the fuzz, and the first time I was expelled from school, and thankfully the only time I was expelled from school. But, I mean, it wasn't the first time I had gotten in trouble with school. Now, this all takes place at the beginning of my junior year in high school, and now that's a long time ago. I mean, not entirely, but it's long enough ago to where it feels like it's forever ago. Now, this is the time in life where you should be getting dry handies in your mom's fucking minivan, but on the other hand, I was, I was doing other things. I was out making money, selling weed, acid, mushrooms, Molly. I mean, you name it, I probably had it. Now, just so you know, things were running real smooth. I mean, I don't think I was moving too loud at this point. Like I, I'd say I was moving pretty solid before, like this summer, right before I had gotten caught. But I will say, like, right as school started, or like right as I got expelled, which is a little after school started, I should add. It was like late October, so a little after school started, a little over a month after school started. I had I started moving a little louder. And I feel like that is really what caught me up, is the fact that I started moving a little louder. I started making more noise when I was pushing that pound. I was making a little more effort to make an extra dollar, because at first I did it just to smoke for free, but I actually wanted to turn a profit on my efforts, and that profit almost ended me in handcuffs. So I mean, you pick your wars, okay? And apparently, I had chose money at that point in time in my life. But nonetheless, I feel like that's an important part, because I feel like without that background of like the drug history or like the drug dealing, it wouldn't make sense why the cops had approached my vehicle the morning of, and I'll get into it, because that part really makes me mad why they approached my vehicle, because they lied to me too. I was like, listen, you could tell me why you came up to my vehicle without lying. If you if somebody snitched on me, that's fucking one thing. You have to do your job. I get that, but don't sit here and tell me my buddy drove into the parking lot erratically, and that's why you went back there, and then you smelled weed on my truck. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting on a tangent. We'll get into that part. But this all starts, like, I want to say it was like a Thursday night, or or no, it was a Wednesday night when it technically started, because, that night I had went out and smoked in my truck, got a little toki, got blazed. This weed wasn't the best weed in the world either. It was very mid-ass weed. Some shit that you wouldn't smell after fucking 12 hours of sitting in a vehicle. But I guess this officer smelled it. But I do my morning things in that morning. I wake up, I do my hair, which I don't know how I did my hair. I kind of just like wet it down, or like, I never really brushed it. I have long hair, so I never really brushed it. But um, kind of just woke up, and that's how I went about the day. And um, well, I start going into school, right? And I get in there, and my sister hops out of the vehicle, and my homeboy Prodigy gets up in the car, and I'm gonna call him Prodigy, because at this point in time I took him up under my wing because I was making a little bit more money. I was trying to teach him the ways. I was trying to get him a little bit of extra quan in his pocket. I was trying to make sure he could afford things in high school, because like, low key, you don't want to be that one dude in high school that can't do anything because you don't have money. And I knew that, so I was trying to help Blood out, and that's why I took him under my wing. Now, the other dude that hopped up in my car, we're gonna call him Greg, because Greg was actually a homie of mine. Like, I actually fucked with Greg. Prodigy, the only reason why I even like took him in under my wing is because I felt bad for him. I felt bad for the dude. Like, everything about this dude just made me feel bad for him. So I take him up under my wing, and I just try to show him the way, of course. But Greg hops up in my car. We got Prodigy in the car too. Well, do mind you, I'm the only one without a cart, okay? I've got my vape on me. My tried and true nicotine vape. You know, I love nicotine. I can't get enough of that shit. That's just magic. Now, I'm not promoting it, but I'm just saying that's just magic. Now, they each had a cart. Now, Prodigy had two on him. He had one that I had purchased for him literally the day prior. I had delivered a cart to Prodigy, which I thought was funny, that Prodigy would spend his money through me, but I never complained about it because you keep the money close to the chest, you know what I'm saying? But Prodigy had two on him, and my boy Greg, he had one on him. He had this like nerds looking one, and I remember it because I was wanting to buy one off of him before I got caught up. Me and him were talking about like purchasing of a cart, and unfortunately, I didn't even get to hit that motherfucker before that officer pulled up to my car. So we're just chilling in the car. I'm hitting my vape. They're tapping their pens and shit. And of course my boy Greg offers me a rip of the pen. So I'm like, of course, yeah. Let me fucking slide me that shit, twin. And he tries to slide me like the homie he is, and he gives me that vape, and I'm holding it. I'm looking at it. I'm like, yo, this thing looks sick. And that's when he like peeps the cop coming up. He's like, oh, dude, there's the school resource officer's coming up to the car, bro. So I hand him his vape, or his cart back, and he's like, yo, can like, at this point in time, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So he comes up to the car, he makes contact with us, right? And he's like, oh, your car kind of smells like weed. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. Just straight up said, no, it doesn't. And of course, he said, yeah, it does. And I hit him back with the, no, it doesn't. He's like, do you have anything in your car? I'm like, no, officer. And then he asked me again for some reason. He's like, do you have anything in your car? And I'm like, no, I had told you I didn't have anything in my car. Why would I have something in my car? And he just asked me again. And I was like, no, but I did smoke in it last night, and that's why this car smells. And he made an excuse for why he thought it had smelled, even though me, Noah, and Prodigy and Greg all thought it didn't have, like, Noah was a third party who was next to the car. That's actually my buddy that sat next to that parked next to me. And Prodigy, Noah, Greg all agree that car did not smell like weed. But for some reason, he stuck to his guns, he stuck to his wits and said that car smelled like weed. And at that point in time, I knew it was wraps. I was like, okay, we're gonna have to fucking take this to the chest and go down with this bullet. Because I knew the fact that he was still standing there telling me that it smelled like weed, it wasn't gonna end the way I wanted it to end. And I just kind of knew that was how it was gonna end. And after about 20 minutes of back and forth, this dude finally goes to get the principal. When he goes to get the principal, that's when we do our switcheroos. So I hand my boy Greg back his cart, right? And he's like, yo, dude, I gotta ditch this back here. I'm on parole. And I'm like, yeah, I know, dude, you're cool. And then that motherfucker Prodigy, Prodigy really thought he was about that shit. And he tried to stick that shit in my glove box. I swear to God, I reached across that car and smacked him. I told him he's gonna pull that shit out of my glove box. And he's gonna take that charge like a fucking man he is. I told him, I was like, you wanted to come under my wing, now you gotta take the fucking consequences for coming under my wing. Well, he puts him back in his fucking pocket, of course. I'm like, okay, sweet. And principal comes out, and I got like a goodie bag, okay? And inside of this goodie bag was an empty bag of weed, like literally an empty bag of weed. It's just an empty Ziploc bag with like the keef coating the side of the Ziploc bag. And then a tray, which had been used. The tray had been used, so there's a little weed residue on the tray. The grinder, completely new. Literally fucking brand new grinder. And then like 11 or 12 packs of White Owl grapes, I think, or it was either Swisher grapes or White Owl grapes. I had bought like a full box and I just stuck it in there and I was going through the Rello slowly. Um, but I had that goodie bag in my car. Well, when the principal came out, I kind of knew my shit was like it was just wraps at that point in time. Like I just needed to fucking call it in. I just needed to fucking give up at that point. So I was very, very honest with that principal. I just handed her my bag and I was like, listen, that's all I got personally. Um, yeah, and she literally took it to the front of my truck, on the hood of my truck, unzips it, right, and starts shuffling through it, right, and they get to the hemp rolls, like, so I had hemp rolls in there too, so on top of the White Owls I had hemps in there, and the hemp rolls come on like a plastic straw, and those bitches try to say I was doing motherfucking cocaine. Motherfucking cocaine, really? You could say I was a bad person, like I did bad things, but I was never like the type of person to fucking go and do blow. But fucking smoke 5 blunts in a row, yeah. So that one annoyed me a little bit. But they conclude that search of the baggie, and they start working on the truck, and they find my boy Greg's cart because he had stashed it because of him being on probation and all, and you know, because it's in my vehicle, they're trying to charge me on it, but because it's in the back seat, I was like, listen, that's in the back seat, you know that's not mine, and they knew it wasn't mine, and they kind of just dropped the charge on that one too, because that one was an extract, so that one would have been another charge itself, if not a felony. So that would have been interesting, especially knowing the fact that I already was kind of racking up a few charges in that moment, so I was getting kind of nervous. But after they searched the truck, they put me in cuffs in the front of my body, and first bell was ending at this point in time, so we were outside for 45 minutes doing this full ordeal from the beginning of school. So we're we're taking care of our business, and we're walking in, and I kid you not, this is the first time I've ever seen 300 faces staring at me. But I saw 300 people that I knew, staring at me as I walked into this school with fucking handcuffs on. Like, dude, fuck, I've done fucked up this time. And it's like literally the only thing I could think to myself was, wow, I really did fuck up this time, didn't I? And I mean, I did. Like, it was just me fucking up, and that's pretty much it. Like, there's nothing else to it. Well, we get inside, and they start with Greg, of course, because Greg didn't have anything on his person, so they started with him, and they split us up too, because you know how they work. They don't want you to congregate in one fucking office and build a plan to defeat the system, apparently. Um, but Greg was he was, pretty much tapped out at that point. He was off the hook. They didn't get Greg. He went back to class. Well, Prodigy, that motherfucker, he decided to tell them that I sold both of his cards to him. I was like, okay, alright. And I knew this because they told me that he said that. And I was like, okay, that's fucked up. I only sold him one of those cards. I didn't say that either, because I was like, yeah, you're not gonna fish me out of snitching on myself. Now, I just said I didn't sell any of them to him. But, Prodigy also told him that I was running routes and all that shit. So it was a fun hour and a half when they finally got to me. Because they get to me, I'm still in cuffs. Actually, the funny part about me being in cuffs is I was still able to ditch my vape. Because I was able to reach into my front pocket and stick it into one of my principal's drawers. In one of her, desk drawers or filing cabinet drawers. I don't remember exactly what drawer I stuck it in. I just stuck it in a drawer because I was worried they were going to pat me down, and I knew if I caught the pat down, it was over for me. I was getting caught with more on me than what I wanted to get caught with. And I just decided I'm gonna just fucking ditch the vape, take the $20 hit, and just say fuck it, because I was already out like $80 on the day because of all the shit they had already taken, so it's another $20 at this point. And so I eat that $20 charge pretty much and fucking just ditch the vape so I don't get in trouble with that too. Because at this point in time, the only thing I technically had on me was the goodie bag, that cart, and a utility work knife that had been in that truck for utility and work. Because although I was a fucking deviant, I still did like yard work and actual like productive work for society and like people in the community. So that knife wasn't used for anything illicit. It was just the fact that it was in the truck when they were doing search for other illicit things. That they're like, oh, this is a big no-no, and I'm like, dude, it's literally a work knife. It says Husky on it, and I'm like, whatever. They ended up dropping the charge on the weapon too, because I mean, it was a work knife. So, I mean, good luck keeping that charge. They also try to hook me on distribution to minor. They try to get me on 15 years worth of crimes. They try to get me on 3 felonies, like 4 misdemeanors. Only the misdemeanors stuck, and the misdemeanors were only possession of paraphernalia, possession of marijuana. And like I said, the possession of marijuana was a shaking, like a dusting of fucking keep. And I was kind of salty about the possession of marijuana charge because of that. But I was like, whatever. And you know, you can't fight it when you're in a situation like that. You're already put into such a corner. You kind of just gotta accept anything that's thrown your way at that point. Like if they say you did it, you fucking did it at that point. Like there's no, I didn't do it, dude. I didn't do it. You know, you just fucking did it. And like just plain and simple. But all this happened because I want to say people like started to like rat on me, and I think it was Prodigy that ratted on me, because low key that motherfucker, like they went through my phone top to bottom because of something this dude said, because there was no reason they would have done such an intensive search on my phone if they just had a eking suspicion. But they go through my phone, they don't fucking find anything, even though literally everything they need to fucking hit me on fucking 4 felonies is on my phone. And I mean, after that, they come to the office, and it pretty much sums up with them going through my phone and then calling my parents up. And because my principal was able to talk them out of taking me to jail that day, I didn't go to jail. And I mean, I'm thankful for that, because I think jail would have sent me down the wrong path even farther. Like I would have just tripled down on my decisions. But well, that wraps us up for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, please like and subscribe. It's free. I mean, the subscribe button may bite you, but that's just a rumor I heard. Um, uh, yeah, if you really do want another story, please just let me know. I've done a lot of stupid shit. I just hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble for so long, because that's what it felt like, was me just rambling. But hope you guys have a beautiful day, a beautiful night, and a beautiful evening. Peace.